Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of our slow and immersive playthrough as Venezuela in Victoria 3 version 1.5. And a little hotfix came out today to update the game to 1.5.8. And I got a little message when I started up the game that apparently there was a little warning that this little hotfix might make previous saves unusable or might crash the game, etc. So I just loaded up the game, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it should be fine, given like it's just a tiny update. Here we are. Let's go ahead and unpause straight away at a low speed just to keep the game running. So we've made it to 1872 so far in the previous 5 episodes. That is what is that? That's roughly 35 years into the game. There we go. We got an event. Free speech pamphlets. A pamphlet in favor of right of assembly has been circulated illegally across most of our major cities. Well, this will help our cause. We could use this to push a stronger message. 25% minus 10% enactment chance. 75% of plus 20. Let's take that. Let's risk it. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Yeah, and another thing that this little patch has added, the little hotfix, is apparently if we go to construction menu, or was it in buildings, for example, and we want to, let's say, expand any building. Yeah, there you go. So there's apparently we can okay, so we can ask the game to show, okay, where we have job seekers, we have everywhere. Peasants, we have nowhere. Unemployed, we also don't have. Okay, frankly, I'm a little bit confused by the system now. Florentino Rojas retires. The leader of the trade unions. Okay, trade unions are largely irrelevant. But what I still do not quite understand is... Okay, so we have job seekers. 56,000 people in the state of Bolivar that could be looking for a better job. But none of our buildings are even fully employed. But it is the same situation in Miranda. The same situation in Zulia. So what, we're just out of workers right now? Kind of find that a little bit hard to believe, given we didn't really have all that much industry. We do have 125 million population. Gainfully employed at 300,000. Okay, maybe we really are out of people again. Netherlands signed a peace agreement with Ulata, ending the state of hostilities between them. I'm still a little bit of surprise because it was... Yeah, in our previous playthrough as Chile, it took us quite a bit longer, to be honest. To... Oh, what is this? Let's have a look at this event quickly. Slave schooner mutiny. Slaves on one of our nation's mercantile ships have risen up, seized control of the ship, and sailed to nearby Great Britain, where slavery is illegal. Issue a strong protest. It's out of our hands now. Yeah, landowners -1. Intelligentsia, it is out of our hands. In Intelligentsia, we've been pushing to ban slavery for a while, but just hasn't happened. And guys, by the way, at the end of last episode, our country has we've gone through 2 civil wars so far in the 35 years that we've played. But we have had to adapt universal suffrage after there were mass outbreaks across the nation, and pretty much everyone was unhappy with us. Literally every single group. But we now have a righteous government with rural folk. Estorgio Marino, rural folk radical, that either strives for radical liberal reforms advancing democratic ideals. Now at the helm is now a president. He's popular, he's healthy, 42 years old. Yeah, that's where we find ourselves, in an alliance with industrialists. So the 2 parties we have a coalition government that, frankly, everyone seems to be very happy about. We also spent the last almost 10 years paying off a massive debt we've incurred over the pretty much first and second civil wars, which we hopefully are almost done paying off. Let's go ahead and put our government wages at a medium, just to make sure everyone's at least a little bit happy. This is due to their approval of neutral xenophobia deactivated. Okay. Unfortunately, yeah, we still have a tiny piece of 168,000 of debt to pay off. After that, I mean, we're actually constructing a building. Oh wait, that's good. We are constructing. Yeah, we are building, and we're 3,000 in surplus. That is good. That means once we pay off our debt, we can actually even lower taxes a little bit. Because right now we're getting -10 legitimacy, plus 50% radicals from standard of living decreases, -20% attraction of interest groups in government. Well, to be honest, we actually have a coalition government that's extremely popular. So I think on this, as the country is currently on a wave of optimism and there's massive support for the government, we can actually afford to keep our tax rate extremely high, right? And strengthen our nation and power our nation, or propel our nation forward. Rights of Assembly has progressed to study. Okay, I didn't actually notice before that the phases are called different, right? Before it was something else. Now it's sponsorship, study, and then voting. Okay, is that because we have universal suffrage now and a proper legislature? Oh no, it must be because we're now a republic, that's why, yeah. This republic adopts a presidential elective transfer of power. Yeah, okay. Okay, got it. Okay, well, we need to ban slavery. Slavery ban. 37% support. Yes, once we're done with rights of assembly, this needs to happen. It's 1872. It just needs to happen. But we desperately need some more infrastructure in Bolivar. Really our main industrial province. We are almost done building it. We already have motor industries up and running. Where I believe they're in Bolivar. Yeah, they are. It's not producing anything since there is no demand for motors right now. Beautiful. We are at 5,000 surplus. That's good. Perhaps that calls for another construction sector. Perhaps construction sector in Zulia. To speed things up, because we need to catch up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build one. Ooh, hang on. Because we should be able to finance, another construction sector. And that's another 25% increase in speed. And we're now getting into, railways, which take a very long time to build. And kind of the high-end industries. So let's go ahead. In order to catch up, our government decides to expand our construction sector. Okay, German Empire no longer bankrolling us. That's why we had such a big increase. Perhaps then let's not build another construction sector, because we cannot afford to go into deficit. Could go to steel. That will machinists plus 20 construction that would give us. That would double our construction. Right? No, plus 10 and a plus 10. No, it would 10. So it would give us plus 50% construction speed. That's still pretty good. We just need glass. We need a lot of steel. We need explosives. We need glass and explosives. We do have sulfur here. Could we build a glass factory later on? Glass. Explosives factory needs fertilizer and sulfur. We did have a railway port in Zulia. Why do we need a port in Zulia? We don't need a port in Zulia. What we need is a fertilizer factory. Glassworks. Okay, we do have glassworks in Miranda. What's going on here? Intelligentsia and our powerful industrialist job creators activated. Okay. Overzealous censorship. The right of assembly law is having trouble gaining popular support, as references to it are being suppressed by the current censorship apparatus. Not much we can do. Minus 10% success chance. Or maybe we can skirt the law a little bit. 25% of minus 20% chance. And let's go ahead with a 75% chance. Maybe we can skirt the law a little bit. There we are. Okay. Input goods shortage of motor industries. Let's go ahead and just subsidize it just to get it off the ground. It seems like that's, I'm not sure if it's 1.5, but it seems like it's sometimes needed to get the initial kind of industry off the ground. Just a very, so we now have, right, we do have motors being produced. We have okay, railways first need to hire, I guess, which will create demand. Okay, we already are having, okay, coal. We need more coal. That's because we need more people in here. Alright. Okay, well, let's... First of all, we need more people. And after we have people, we need better technology. Meanwhile, France signed a peace agreement with Agar, ending the state of hostilities between them. Sure. So look, is there something we can just delete if we don't have enough workers? Can we just, for example, remove sugar plantations? Nobody wants sugar. Okay, if I delete... I know it increases radicals because some people used to own these buildings. Steel. Not enough steel. Well, that's because we need to produce it. Okay, something is... Either I'm not understanding something, or something has changed in patch 1.5, or we do not have enough workers. Now, worker shortage is so severe. Okay, maize farms. And maize is still very expensive, regardless of what you do. We have maize farms here, and like, yeah, sure. It's expensive, but... Maybe we can get more maize thrown here. Just seems like... Oh, okay, let's not subsidize this. We're going to subsidize this. Don't understand, like... Nothing is being employed anywhere. Here we're low on authority, and that gives us -0 opposition interest group approval. Plus 1% radicals from standard of living decreases. Out of authority. I guess what we could do is... Political decrease, right? Road maintenance. Just remove it from Bolivar. Alright, 34 out of 26. Why is there only 26? There's only 26 because we got railway. We need more people employed in railways here. Okay, transportation. One motor gives more transportation. But all of our buildings are empty. It's just odd. Should we just close some of these? Don't understand. Well, okay, let's close sugar plantations. I feel like we have to try something, guys. Look, yeah, subsistence farms are not employing anyone. Maize farms and banana plantations are... I guess buildings maybe aren't meant to be fully employed all the time. Right? As long as they're producing like something, it is sort of enough. Right? For example, yes, it only employs 50 people out of 500, but it's not really producing anything. We now have right of assembly. Citizens enjoy the right to public assembly. Plus 50 authority, that's good. Guaranteed leadership change from censorship. Sure. How about we finally ban that slavery? Nobody's opposed to it. People either are indifferent or supportive. Enact elected bureaucrats. Okay, we'll do that. Let's do slavery first. So high support, low radicalism. Okay. We are bringing in revenue. We're building railways in Miranda. where we also need more infrastructure. Desperately need more infrastructure. Desperately need more infrastructure in Bolivar. If I did subsidize this, let's have a look what happens. Building is subsidized and costs £7 a week. Wage subsidies required for wages required to maintain full employment, 62. Railway capacity to pay, 58. Input goods subsidy required, £2. Let's have a look. Let's put this to speed 4. I don't understand why there isn't like pop growth, migration, attraction, low struggling peasants, insignificant peasants, subsistence farmers found only in subsistence building, where they produce agricultural and simple manufactured products they use mostly for their own needs. They rely on subsistence output for survival and play only a limited role in the market economy, tend to be politically unaligned. Revolution is Zanj, East African peasant revolt, started a revolution, diplomatic play against Great Britain. A peace between Great Britain and Baroda. And we have a devout scandal. It has been revealed that Sylvester Guevara y Lira of the Catholic Church has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. People must know of his depravity, for sure. Peasants. Peasants are part of the lowest strata. Show population 67. Thousand insignificant. What is this? Insignificant. Job seekers in Bolivar. 56.4 thousand workers are looking for a new job. 5 of these are unemployed. Ecuador improving relations with us. The rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Antonio Leocadio Guzman, leader of the intelligentsia, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of slavery banned. Okay, this should ease the path to reform greatly. Indeed, we need to pass that. Slavery needs to be abolished. What could we do? We need more workers. We could remove legal guardianship from women and allow them to work, but it would also be nice to get just larger population in general. Population attraction high. So everyone wants to go to Zulia. Pop growth +4. 5,000. Attraction is medium. Nobody likes being in Bolivar. But that's even though the lower strata are worse off in Zulia than anywhere else. So 15 to 20% of our population is Afro-Caribbean, which is mostly slaves. Have a look. Zulia is almost half of our GDP. Very interesting. Our capital state is only 33. Why is this? It's got the best buildings. Sugar, coffee plantation. Livestock ranches. Okay, slavery banned successfully. Progress to the study phase. Perfect. Very interesting. That's 10 infrastructure, okay. Yeah, we do need to subsidize railways in Bolivar because we need that infrastructure for Bolivar, don't we? Ports in Zulia. We don't need ports in Zulia, that's the thing. Build railways in Miranda, then government administration in Zulia. Chemical bleaching unlocked. Through the addition of certain salts, minerals, or chemicals to the raw materials, Visual qualities of manufactured goods can be greatly increased. Okay. Canaries spreading. United Tribal Proletariat Revolt started a revolution diplomatic play against Great Britain. Tribal Proletariat. Interesting. Revolution in Oceania. Not really any of our concern. Yeah, that's hit last 28,000 of debt. It took us almost 13 years. I think we were at 1.4 million. Oh, good. We'll put that behind us. Now, only good times are ahead of us. What we need, for example, in here is then water tube boiler. Okay, fewer workers, yeah, more tools and more coal. That's actually what we really need. Why are we not producing any? In order to subsidize railways, well, it costs us a lot to subsidize them because coal, well, because motor engines cost a lot. We also subsidize motor industry. Shouldn't cost us a lot. For steel mills, water tube boiler, again, fewer workers, more steel. So can we please... Okay, so we also subsidize this. Okay, let's go ahead and just get a lot of steel out of this one plant. As much as we possibly can. Okay, we're subsidizing a lot of things now. Now, furniture manufacturers, for example, water tube boiler. Sure, let's go ahead and... Textile mills. Okay, now here, we can get dye workshops for more clothes. We can do craftsman sewing to get luxury and normal clothes, but we need silk. Okay, we don't have an automation. Motor tooling workshops. Water tube boiler, again, coal. We use coal instead of workers, right? Oh yeah. So can we please, you know, get going? Okay, steel mills, fully employed. Steel is now super cheap in our land. Iron, however, is expensive and tools are expensive. Okay, well, let's subsidize tools. And iron mines also need to be subsidized, is that right? Right. I understand, okay, we can switch to even a higher production method. Make sure. Okay, let's pause for a second. A nation of our own. The legacy of our nation's independence from Spain has spurred the beginnings of a developed national identity. Conflicts have begun between the vision of a unique and independent Venezuela and the dream of an indivisible Latin America. For centuries, the guns had fired. The guns had fired. First turned on those who resisted conquest, and then those who sought to chain the nation to its former master. An informal peace had come with the flight of the Spanish armies, but they had never truly stopped. They remained shouldered, pointed inwards and outwards, waiting for the end of this momentary confusion, and a single target to pursue. Okay, our homeland takes another step towards freedom. Plus 10% of North Andean population in Venezuela become more loyalists, or one nation. We are one nation amongst many. The development of a uniquely Venezuelan culture will be slowed, but not averted. 5% North Andean middle strata pops in Venezuela become more radical. And we already have enough radicals. And yeah, now Holland takes another step towards freedom. We're happy to be Venezuela. With recent developments, certain figures in the Marino government have taken interest in seeking the unification of the northern Bolivarian states and restoration of the former state of Gran Colombia. The embers of Simon Bolivar's dream are still in living memory. Stirrings of nationalism rouse in the eldest of Venezuela. Those with a keen enough ear to listen now turn to their neighbors. Perhaps it isn't so far-fetched to see one's neighbor as a brother. Perhaps the time is now, with the fresh idea of a nation. All that needs to be done is a destruction of those who would oppose it. Okay, our strength, once lost, will be found again. Will result in a diplomatic incident in Gran Colombia, giving 10 infamy to Venezuela and reducing the relations with 14 countries. Venezuela gets pursuing Gran Colombia for 9 years, plus 10 maneuvers per diplomatic play. Okay, and we get a claim on Cauca, Guerra, Antigua, and Pastaza. Respect the sovereignty of our neighbors. Ecuadorian and Colombian relations, plus 10. Okay, let's have a look. Nationalism unlocked, plus 10% authority. Who am I? It is a key question that runs to the heart of the identity of a person. In times past, people have said they are from a province, a town, or even a family as an expression of that identity. And a new idea has developed that transcends those notions and instead see identity as something that is shared amongst the nation. What is more, the nation should be united into a single country. Okay. I guess that happens with nationalism. Guevara. So these are the 4 provinces we can get claims on. Colombia. It's 32 battalions, power projection of 840. Goes to us with 520. They have an alliance with Mexico. Defensive pact with Spain. Rivalry with Brazil. Okay, could we... What do we want? We have universal suffrage. I think we respect the sovereignty of our neighbors, right? I mean, we're not a belligerent nation. We respect the sovereignty of our neighbors. We do. We respect the sovereignty of our neighbors. Yeah, although I guess there was scope to partner up with Brazil. But I just don't think it really fits our nation. Right, does it? I mean, we're about to ban slavery, we're progressive, we need to develop our own local economy. And we have everything we need. Hydraulic cranes unlocked. Cranes powered by water pressure are vastly stronger than earlier stationary cranes. Their strength and efficiency can greatly increase the flow of goods in and out of commercial ports. Plus 3 port max level. Okay. Treasure spreading. Gun Colombia closed. Joint stock companies spreading. Okay. We are running a deficit. Why is that, for example? Spending a lot of money on various things. Where subsidies are 5,000, 3,000 from steel mills. Steel mills cost a lot to subsidize because tools are expensive. As is everything else. Tools, tooling workshops. Can we subsidize these? Steel is super cheap. Coal. Yeah, okay. Well, can we hire more people in here? Well, not really. Don't understand. Can we... Okay, maize. 17. Okay, can we close... Let's close this maize then. Banana, livestock ranches. Livestock ranches we need for the fabric and the fertilizer and the meat. Just really not sure how this is supposed to work then. Should we remove some of the barracks? Right, because this is hemorrhaging like 5,000 people, is that right? We need workers here. Can we get rid of ports? 150 convoys, which we don't particularly need, and only 5 infrastructure, and 5,000 people in here. Do we really need that? Bolivar now has more than enough infrastructure. Do we really need a port? Railway employs 5,000 people and gives us 20 infrastructure. So how about the ports in Bolivar? Let's close them down. We did build them ourselves though as well. That was a bit of a waste. Alright. So can we now come here and do we have enough people now? To actually, you know, man our industries. Okay, can we get people into our tools workshops? There we are. Okay, maybe this was the answer. Alright, let's get cheap tools for everybody. Alright, these buildings are massively profitable. So very productive. Tooling workshops are super productive. What are you telling me, game? This is -0. It's not true. Oh, so because we're subsidizing. No, it doesn't cost anything to subsidize motor industries. Okay, motors are super cheap. So if we stop subsidizing this, okay, they probably will employ a little less. Alright. Okay, this, if we remove. Likewise, shouldn't really... Rail transportation. Yeah, less labor. 3,000 fewer laborers. Yeah, so mines, we definitely need to get train. Yeah, perfect. Logging camps, likewise. More demand for transport since we now have it. We have the railways, so let's make use of them, right? I think that's the gist. Market squares, let's get more. Right, we should have glass. Spain declared rivalry. Okay, attitude towards us antagonistic. Oh, okay. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate... Oh, let's just slow this down. Current slaves owners closed. In the midst of the debate surrounding slavery ban, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with intelligentsia, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the laws to be passed. Let us ensure the play gets a wider international audience. Yes. Let's get that, because again, that's 20 prestige, which we have no other way of getting. Okay, glassworks. We do have glassworks, right? Don't we? Let's produce some. We can produce a lot of glass. We could switch to ceramic. And that means what? Glass -20, porcelain +20. But we need dyes, which we do not have. So let's produce some glass, hopefully. Okay. Engines, good shortage. Why does it go down to like nothing immediately? A little bit odd, if I'm honest. I mean, it's a super productive building, so... Unclear, and it's not very clear from the UI or from anywhere. Peasants, 770. Okay, so there are. Okay, so we do now have, so we have 700, now we have 770 people, kind of not doing much. Basically in subsistence farming, so... Okay, at least that tells me. Livestock ranches, there is no automation. Yeah, barbed wire fence would be good automation. Refrigerated storage, okay. Okay, we've cut labor from everywhere. Yeah, we've... Resource-wise, yeah, so resource, we're using railroads, shipyards. Honestly, need shipyards? I mean, we're not, well, they're not even employing anyone now. Textile mills. I don't quite understand. So I guess 5,000 barracks, is that right? But I mean, we do need an army. We do have 5,000 people employed in construction. That's odd, yeah. I guess construction is... No, we're not even building anything at the moment. I guess one always has to consider just how many people like you have available. Right, and you need population growth as well. Okay, we do get 11,000 workers, but only a quarter of those. So we get 2,500 actual workers per year. The rest are dependents. Okay, Petit Bourgeoisie approves. Is loyal. At least GDP continues to grow. Literacy continues to grow. Average standard of living continues to grow. Population continues to grow. Slavery ban has been debated in political spheres with a positive outcome, increasing enactment success by 10%. Okay. We are in surplus, paying off interest. It's good. Probably because we're not constructing much right now. But let's have a look. For example, infrastructure. We now have more than enough everywhere. Provided we can actually... yeah, let's actually go ahead and just switch methods pretty much everywhere. Coal mines, just free up workers. Right. Coal. We can use more tools. There's even more coal. Let's make coal cheap. Transportation is now super expensive apparently. Okay, well, that's because we don't have railways in Zulia. Okay, let's get some railways here. We're almost at the... not actually almost at the cap, but still. Let's get some railways in Zulia. Coal mines, logging camps. Let's get rail transportation in here. Right. Sawmills. Oh, we have five logging camps. That's interesting. Does the AI not understand that we can just switch sawmills? I guess it was private sector that built these. And now we can just flood our market with wood. We don't even need that many employed here. We're employing 20,000 people, but don't really need that many people. Right? I mean, if we do this, it's just way too cheap. That's fine. Maybe, okay, let's keep wood cheap, let's say. Let's see what happens. Massively unproductive. We can close one of them. Yeah, there we are. Probably better. Let's hope we build 82 weeks it takes. Okay, but let's look at Bolivar. We do have 174 peasants now. So that means we're kind of on the threshold of enough people. Okay, engines are 20% cheaper than average. Steel is super cheap. Tools are cheap. Coal is not cheap, but fine. Yeah, that's kind of all we need. Steel mills are costing us 2,300 to subsidize. Okay, let's stop subsidizing them. But let's not, guys, like, produce nothing, okay? Look, yeah, we're still running a little surplus. See how this changes. Boom. Okay. Produce a little bit less. Steel price goes up. Put it to speed 4. To be honest, among all buildings, so food industries, or do we actually have any food industries? One in Miranda. Okay, we can produce liquor from sugar. Patent stills a lot of liquor. Well, let's actually do patent stills, so we can take glass. Right, if we take glass, grain, and sugar, which we have lots of in our market, we're producing a lot of liquor. Which I think our population likes quite a bit. And our population, go to their needs. Okay, everything's pretty cheap, even for our lowest strata. As I said, no human being may be owned by another. Finally. Take a look at this. Slow down a little bit. Laws, we have appointed bureaucrats, but they want elected bureaucrats. Who opposes this? Armed forces and intelligentsia. Okay, local governors are elected by their constituents, decentralizing power while making citizens easier to manage. Minus 15% bureaucracy institution cost multiplier. Appointed 25% taxation capacity. 25% Political strength of bureaucrats. Bureaucrats are appointed by rulers to serve the country's best interests in exchange for high wages. Well, since we have a movement... Intelligentsia opposes this. Armed forces opposes this. Medium support, radicalism low. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, back to the same problem where still we have a shortage. Okay, but now we're at least employing people. We are getting more steel. Okay, let's see if the economy kind of balances itself out. GDP is peaked at 2.4 and then went back. It's a shame. Let's have a look. Textile mills. We need mechanized looms to use fewer laborers. And that needs mechanized workshops. We have reinforced concrete right now. And we will queue up canneries for food industries and then mechanized workshops. We need to automate things and use more machinery and fewer people. Let's have a look at buildings. Is there anything else we can automate a bit more? Furniture manufactories, water tube boiler. Okay, everyone needs to use water tube boilers, please. Lathes. Okay. Newly formed parties. New parties formed in our country. Conservative Party. Okay, the canvas of ideas. The intelligentsia find it difficult to find the cheap paper they need to immortalize their thoughts. We will secure the pages of tomorrow's classics. Add setup paper import to the Journal of Venezuela. Or learn brevity. Now we will secure pages for tomorrow's classics. Let's have a look at journal entry. Freedom of trade. Venezuela has enacted free. Increase the number of Venezuelan trade routes by 25. Increase the event marketplace of the world. Okay. Venezuelan nation. Independence of Venezuela. Okay. Completing the journal entry will exclude Venezuela from pursuing greater pan-national ambitions. Progress of emerging Venezuelan nationality has reached 100%. The event national foundations. Venezuela becomes the primary culture of Venezuela. North Andean stops being a primary culture. Yeah, we're fine. Steam engine time will complete if locomotive industry is a promising avenue not only for the development of our infrastructure but also for profit and innovation. We should establish factories capable of manufacturing steam engines and connect our cities through railways. Any Venezuelan state, any building is railway. The workforce occupancy is greater than 75%. Any owned neighboring state also meets these conditions. Okay, so we have that. Okay. Potential. Okay, that's current journal entries. Not really. Church. Oh, fine. Church does not approve. This one is taking its sweet time. Okay. Well, look, Bishop takes Black Pawn. At a soiree for the Conservative Party's wealthiest supporters, Jorge Paez began a long-winded rant about the merits of slavery and discrimination. Oh, this is... people are entitled to their opinions, even if they're wrong. Civilization is the means of our equality. Indeed. Oh yeah, people are entitled to their opinions, even if they're wrong. It's just one guy at a soiree. God's will. Silvestre Guevara y Lira of the Catholic Church has been seen preaching in favor of the Conservative Party, convinced that their victory has been foreseen in God's plans. Such a shame the nation is not ruled by God then. But God surely wants the Free Trade Party to win. being a bit sarcastic. Indeed. Okay, let's have a look. What do we have now? Who is the Conservative Party? Are the petite bourgeoisie, Catholic Church, and landowners all together. Yeah, there's no need to suppress the landowners anymore. They only have 5% clout now. Let's see. The election in 70 days. The Liberal Party. Intelligentsia and rural folk. Conservative Party. Ooh, 56% is projected. Free Trade Party momentum. Oh, industrialists not going to fare well. Okay. Let's see. At least we are at a surplus. Okay, we do actually have now a few peasants here and there, so we are don't have like a acute shortage of labor. I think we're okay. We are now 40 years into the game. Go ahead and speed up a little bit. This we are constructing one building, and we are in surplus. So that's a good position to be in. We are at high taxes, but we also have a righteous government, so that's fine. So technology-wise, I guess what wouldn't hurt, really wouldn't hurt, would be steel-framed buildings. Alright, that will give us more infrastructure, more construction. Really construction progress. Yeah. But right now we're really limited by our population, which is something I find to be true with all the miners. We had the same issue with Chile in our previous playthrough in open beta 1.5, is that there really isn't any point, I guess, in building too quickly. The point is to have some construction sector. But right now, 10,000 of our workers are employed in this construction sector. But you might as well not build any construction sectors, I feel. Although they, yeah, because then you have, and just build key buildings, even if it takes a long time. Because we only need one motor industry like for the foreseeable future. You know, again, it's like it costs a fortune to subsidize. Don't really quite understand it. Election results are in, however. Conservative Party. Oh, 57%. Free government reform. Illegitimate government. Wait. Okay, well, Conservative Party. Petite bourgeoisie. Well, yeah, we have to, right? They've won the election. Can we squeeze in the industrials in there? No. Okay, well, Conservative Party has won. What do you want me to say, guys? Okay, well, President Ezekiel Hiran. Ruler and politician, petite bourgeoisie. Proprietors of small shops, landlords with half a dozen tenants, frugal clerks with tiny pensions, and others who have more than the poor, but less than the rich. He's a Democrat, at least. He endorses elected bureaucrats. Okay, well, let's go ahead and pass it then. Seems like we have a movement. Our president, newly elected president, wants elected bureaucrats. Seems like the country is overwhelmingly sort of poised in that direction. Here we have, interesting, we have, here's our railway goes along the coast. Barcelona. Oh, I didn't know Venezuela had a city called Barcelona. Carupano. Interesting that not, okay, so we don't have any railways yet in Zulia, that's why this is not a railway. Okay. Here are our logging camps. What are they missing? They're missing transportation here, guys. That's coming online. Missing coal. Coal mines are missing transportation as well. It's coming, guys. It's coming. Don't worry. Nobody worry, please. Transportation. 25 weeks. We shall have it. We are, of course, subsidizing it all. Government run. More bureaucrats. Interesting. Like, what does that, for example, do? That just makes more people... Oh. Changes capitalists to bureaucrats. And bureaucrats are... Let's have a think about this, for example. Bureaucrats. No, we go to population. Detailed list. Bureaucrats. Yeah, we have 21,000 bureaucrats. Officials responsible for administration of government functions and infrastructure. Politically, they tend to align with the intelligentsia or petite bourgeoisie. Part of the middle strata, right? Whereas capitalists, for example, are upper strata. So we could make... I mean, we are subsidizing these things. Like, why are they... How about we do make them government run? Right? I mean, we are... subsidizing this entire... Let's go buildings. Hang on a second. Development. Railways are all government run. Right. Let's see what happens. Wooden passenger carriages. Okay, let's get more wood. And we get people moving. Get more transportation. Make it nice and cheap. So let's see what that does, for example, for us. Alright, now across a lot of bureaucrats, clerks, and laborers. Costs us 300 to subsidize it, but everyone has transportation. The Caracas Citizens Association, a social club popular with the educated class, has held a salon in Caracas, with Jorge Paez speaking in favor of elected bureaucrats as an honored guest. Okay, they seem like the sort to know what is best. Encourage further development of these salons. Well, seem like they know what's best. We're building more sugar. Again, building sugar plantations in Bolivar. Is that really necessary? I mean, the answer is obviously no. Fine. Have a look at buildings. Just keep looking. What else can we automate? Tooling workshops. Everyone needs to use. And let's do more wood. Demand for wood, steel, and produce more tools in our nation. Right? And use fewer workers while we're at it. Right? Glassworks, we have 2. One of which we're subsidizing. Super cheap glass. Let's stop subsidizing this. Right. Tooling workshops are pretty productive. Paper mills. Water tube boiler. Yep. Yeah, let's do paper mills. We have 1 paper mill in Miranda. Paper in our market is actually a little expensive. We don't have any dyes though, so that's just kind of going to be it. We could build another paper mill, right? Make paper really cheap. Or should we just hold off? We will need more sulfur for that. How about we just do this and bring much more sulfur on board, and then sure, we can actually build a paper mill. Okay, we are building up a surplus, which means perhaps we should build a construction sector in Zulia. And it does eat up 5,000 of labor. That is what I really don't like about that. Let's go ahead and build it. And then when we upgrade our techs, there will be a massive surge in demand for goods. That's kind of okay also. Like the construction sector kind of feeds the economy. It's just you need to withstand that short-term shock, short-term deficit. But in the long run, it is good. I mean, I have to say, we increased our GDP in the last 15 years by pretty much nothing. There you go. That's what you get for civil wars. September 11th, 1876. One guy's 3 weeks. Zulia. Some infrastructure won't hurt, but decreasing transportation costs will also not hurt. There we are. Transportation for everybody. Sugar. Okay, that's interesting also. So let's go ahead and do buildings. Look at that. Even paper mills, steel, motor industries, shipyards, urban centers. Let's put all on market squares. Give everyone more services. Gas street lights. Public trams. Okay, we have enough. State-run churches, clergymen, free churches. Free churches. Right. More clerks, fewer clergymen. Trade center. Privately owned. Rural buildings. Let's go ahead wherever we can. Like coal and iron are rural. Okay. Coffee plantations. Get everyone more rail transportation, free up all the labor. All the labor we have. Rail transportation for all logging camps. Branching out completed. Okay. All of our rural, the entire rural sector. Okay, and harvesting tools also, okay, for our maize farm. Should have done that a long time ago, to be really honest. Yeah, let's give everyone some tools along with fertilizers so we free up labor. Development ports. I guess we have cargo ports for everything. Barracks. Okay, let's get more officers. Let's do secular administration for all of our government administration. Professional bureaucrats. Standardized filing system. University. Scholastic education. Do philosophy department. Oh, okay. Plus 50% of innovation. Let's do philosophy department. Secular academia for sure. And rail was a government run and with wooden carriages. Okay. Now transportation is actually pretty expensive everywhere. So why don't we? Although here, are we employing it fully? Yes, we are. So we could definitely use one more in Zulia. We could definitely use one more in Miranda, but what we could also do is go urban centers and put some public trams in here. So that means it's another little boost to transportation production. We just need more motors. We could do the same here. Oh, more transportation, right? But we need more motors. Let the economy adjust a little bit. Okay, we are building up a surplus, so that's good. Maybe then once we build that construction sector, see what actually happens. Slow progress to voting. Let's go ahead. Buildings. Construction. Construction sector in Zulia. How long does that take? Oh, it only takes 11 weeks. Let's go ahead and build a construction sector in Zulia. Now we have one construction sector in each of our states. Right, that should give us another 5, so make everything 25% faster, or construction. Right, boost demand in the economy for various for iron, wood, tools, and fabric. Right, and hopefully boost those industries. Let's go ahead and speed up to speed 5, let's say. Not really reading what's going on here. Very broken. Let's have a look at our politics quickly while the time is ticking. We're in a contested government. Intelligence still like us. Bourgeoisie are happy. Slaver landowners, trees. Moderate Catholic Church leader. Democrat petite bourgeoisie. President Ezekiel Hiran. Okay, he's president and leader of the petite bourgeoisie. Okay. Let's have a look at our population. Okay, well, it has improved since the start, to be honest. Actually, the spread of expenditure is pretty good. It's just grain is still a little bit expensive, but 20% is not too bad. Otherwise, luxury clothes are quite expensive. Transportation. We now have elected bureaucrats. Local governors are elected by their constituents, decentralizing power while making citizens easier to manage. Let's look at our institutions, because we used to lack bureaucracy. Okay, home. So let's go ahead and, for example, perhaps increase education institution. Go ahead and increase law enforcement, right? Since we now have a fair amount of bureaucracy. Increase home affairs. We do have secret police, I believe. 20% movement, political movement radicalism. Revolutions are slower. Secession, progression, speed, political movement radicalism. Suppression minus 10%. Suppression impact on interest group attraction. Let's see, we don't need it necessarily right now, do we? Enact national supremacy. Foreign cultures are discriminated against unless they share both heritage and language or other customs. We have banned slavery. What effect did that actually have, though? I mean, I guess no effect, right? I mean, slaves would have been... They would have been working some jobs anyway. Charts, detail lists. Servicemen politically unaligned. Machinists politically unaligned. Okay. We do have a shortage of fertilizers. Yes, fertilizers. Oh, wait, 100. Iron and sulfur. Let's build a fertilizer plant in Zulia. That will take a while. We are now running a deficit, and that is because we're spending a lot on construction goods, namely iron. And we're... It's not that it's even that expensive. It's just... Okay. Could actually do with more transportation. And more coal. More transportation. More transportation in Bolivar. Well, we are upgrading it to level 2 throughout. More coal. What coal is needed? Pretty cheap here. Just by the time it gets to Venezuela, to Bolivar, it starts to get a little bit expensive. But not too much. It's not excessive. Okay, we're making a good amount of steel. Motors. Motors are very expensive in our market. That's because we need to employ people here, guys. We're not producing anything. Can we get the motors up and running? I know in this case, if we subsidize motors, that will cost us. But that also means it costs us less to subsidize railways, if I'm not mistaken. I guess it's not such a bad thing, though, as well, when something is really expensive. Because, for example, we're building a paper mill now. I mean, it needs another like 3,000 people in it. And sure, it will make paper cheaper, but so what? Oh, paper bleaching. Okay, we don't have dyes. Yeah, we should have actually imported 10 dyes instead. We should have done, because, for example, trade lens, import trade route. Dyes. Should have imported dyes instead of building a second paper mill, for example. I think that's a mistake. Alright, because so what that we now produce more paper. We don't have the labor. Or like, there's better use of that 3,000 labor. Frankly. Let's have a look what actually happens. Alright, we need to build that fertilizer plant. Market. Buildings, construction. Can we bump that fertilizer plant up? And then we build railway later. We have railways all over the place. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just pause here, guys. I think we've come up on the hour. So it's time to make a cut. We are in 1877, so 41 years into the game. Actually, almost 42 years into the game. Yeah, progressing nicely. I hope you're enjoying it and maybe learning a little bit. I'm definitely learning the game myself as we go along. But yeah, I hope to see you in the next episode then. Bye.